Hi everyone, thank you for listening to us. Thank you for listening to China Paradigm. I'm very happy today to welcome Shuyang. Shuyang is a co-founder of Malu Innovation, which is a company doing robots for warehousing to move pods and pallets. And before that, I'm going to tell everyone how I met with you. I met with you because you are an alumnus from ASAC. As me. So we met through the network, and then we met when you were still at Cathay Capital. You may actually tell us more about your experience and how the idea came from later on. At that time, you were managing basically investment between France and China, and you came up with this idea of creating this company called Malu Innovation. And I'm very happy to have you on the show because so far you are the highest funded company I've ever interviewed. So you just raised 5 months ago, you raised 60 million RMB. In terms of USD, should be 9 million. Yeah, 9 million US, and it's a Series A. So thank you very much, Shuyang, for being with us, taking the time. It's Saturday, so thank you very much for taking on your weekend. I know you're used to it as an entrepreneur. And first question is for you, could you give us an idea of the size of your business currently, 2017? If you could disclose some numbers about revenues, number of employees, number of robots, anything which could give us an idea of the size of your business.
So Malu Innovation was founded in end of 2015. Mm-hmm. And so far, our company has totally around 80 people. So it's growing very fast. Because 1 year ago, this time we had just 20 people. The size is growing quite fast. And in 2017, we totally sold 200 robots in 4 or 5 different projects. Okay. All of the projects are in e-commerce field in China. And in 2018, we target to sell around 800 robots. Mainly in China, but we are also starting our overseas strategy in Southeast Asia as well as in Europe. Right. So today we are quite proud to say we are the first tier company in the robotic industry in China. And luckily, end of last year, we raised round A financing from JD.com. As Matthieu said, we raised 60 million RMB. So JD is also today our strategic partner. We are the only warehousing robot system supplier of JD.com. And we are doing our first projects with them in their key warehouses in east of China. And after the pilot projects, we can imagine a very huge demand from JD system, right? And also we start to work with some big names this year in China, such as VIP.com, Guomei, which is the biggest home devices company, selling company in China. And we are also working with some very big automobile companies for their factories and their warehouses. So the market is really booming here in China because everybody is needing the automatic and smart warehousing solutions. And luckily, we are the leader here.
I want to talk on one question I had when I looked at what you did and how you raised the money. You raised from JD.com, which basically you are in the JD.com ecosystem. Does it mean that you cannot work with Alibaba? Or does it mean that it's more difficult? Sorry for the question. If that's confidential and so on, maybe you don't oblige to answer. Yeah. But I'm very interested to know more about it because you said you are working with Guomei, which is not Suning, and Suning is Alibaba, right? So I feel there is clearly a strategic partnership with JD.com and that consolidation around Alibaba and JD.com.
Yeah, actually we're facing with this kind of tricky problems here in China because, as you know, our main customers today are e-commerce players, and e-commerce players in China they have different clients, so like JD and Alibaba and the third parties. So for sure, if we are in the team of JD, it's quite difficult to work with the Ali system. But one thing is that JD system is very close because JD owns and manages all their warehouses, which is today of 10 million square meters, and will be doubled in the next 4 years. But Alibaba has a very different strategy in the warehousing system. So they have a subsidiary called Cainiao, which is a platform instead of warehouse owner. So Cainiao is a platform, is a network, and they work with a lot of third-party warehousing service suppliers such as Xingyi or Beilin or Baishi. And this kind of third-party suppliers, even if they are in the so-called team of Alibaba, but in terms of warehousing devices or warehousing machines, they still have quite open purchasing strategy. So we also participate in some bidding projects of the friends of Alibaba in this kind of projects. It's not 100% close to us, but for sure it's still we still face with some obstacles, some kind of that. So it's not
okay. So you feel that,
yeah, it's not impossible, it's doable, but it's more difficult than if we are not in the team of JD, right?
Okay, interesting. Very interesting, those two ecosystems around JD and Alibaba. One thing I was very interested to read on your website, you describe yourself as the good to man product.
Right.
Good to man. So I was thinking when I want to go back on the product actually. I was thinking when reading that you had a bigger plan actually than being only on warehousing. And you talked about automotive industry. You talk about e-commerce, which is something I understood that you were doing, was very clear for me because I was thinking of the model of Kiva, which was bought by Amazon for 775 million US. You see, I did my homework. So in 2012, I guess, yeah. So I understood the model, and now you are talking about automotive. When I go on your website, I see good to man industry. How would you define the product and its evolution you see in the future?
Right. So actually, at the very beginning, Kiva was our example. But as you said, after Kiva was acquired by Amazon, so this part of business is always focused in e-commerce sorting areas. So they are doing very good in this field actually. But as we are still an independent company and we are dreaming a very big thing, so our long-term strategy is to handle all the moving process in every areas of factory or warehouses or express companies. So in all the industrial areas, we can handle the moving missions with our robots and system. So not only the sorting area, the picking area of e-commerce warehouses, but also we're working with express companies, post companies. We are working with automobile companies or other industrial manufacturing companies. So we are realizing that many customers need the AGV, the robots, to do different things in their home. So so today
AGV.
This is the name of our robots called AGV. So our products will be always AGV, but we will have a series, different series of products with different loading capacity. So today we have
Yes.
the AGV of 700 kilo. We have AGV
Okay.
of 1 ton, and we are developing AGV of 1.5 ton or 2 tons. We are developing the small AGVs of 10 kilo or 50 kilo, which is mainly for the logistic company or express companies. So many different things, and right. So our potential customer pool could be very, very big.
Yeah, 2 tons. I mean, you could
Right,
nearly move a car, right?
right,
So you
right.
can move a car with your robot.
Yes, in the
Wow.
future, in the near future.
Okay. No, not right now. Because I saw on your website you have currently four robots.
Right,
Four. Okay. Yeah.
right.
Okay. Interesting. And this one thing I was asking myself when I was studying your company is that how and actually your background when you were at Cathay Capital, I guess you saw so many business, dozens, even hundreds of businesses. Um, how did you select this one? What were your criteria? Because I feel that when we work in investment and finance, the difficulties that we see so many opportunities, actually, so many good things to do, and it's very difficult to select and to say this is the business, the product I'm going to invest 100% of my time and even my money, and do that for the coming 10 years or even 15 years. Could you
Yeah.
tell us more about the process?
Yeah, actually, in Cathay Capital, we were looking at many different businesses or companies, and I was always thinking about creating my own company for sure with some friends together. And my logic is that today, as at least in China, we have two different models of creating new companies. First one is business model creation. The second is technology side, technology creation. So, but for business model creation, as you know, in China, we have Alibaba, we have JD, we have Tencent, we have Baidu. All these big names, they have a lot of money, capital, and people and human resources. They can do anything in a very short time. So you can see anytime a new team created a new business model, it will be copied very fast. So it's quite difficult today. And but in technology side, I think if we find a good technology to create a new company, and we have an entry barrier high enough, it's possible to create our own world, and and instead of being copied very fast. So first, I chose if I do something by myself, it must be technology, and I think second we have to do something. How to say, which could be done by a small team instead of by a very big team and with a lot of capital, such as the auto driving thing or AI thing. It's quite difficult. We need very huge money to do that, and I think for me it's quite difficult. And so, and the third one is that as I was working in Cathay Capital, my focused fields are logistic and robotic and automation.
Okay,
So I
I
think
see.
there were a lot of things to do in this big industry, because you know China, we have a strategy of 2025 for industry 4.0, and it's a country level strategy. We have all the good policies from government side, and second is that today in
Yeah.
China, not only the factories, but also the logistic companies, the automation level is very, very low, extremely low, compared with Western countries. But the demands and the market is so huge. So which means if you have a good product, you have a good technology, you have very big chance to succeed in the automation business. And in a very luckily, I knew about the Kiva system, and at that time they were just acquired by Amazon, and we could see some videos of Kiva system at that time in China, and so some people in the logistic field, logistic industries, we start to know there was Amazon and there was Kiva system, which already succeeded, which already proved their business model, their technology model, which is feasible in the real world. So I think it's very interesting. And in China, as the e-commerce market size is many times of US market, so but there was almost nearly no any automation solutions. All the warehousing work was done by human, purely human. So if this Kiva quasi Kiva system or the robot AGV system could be developed and the price was acceptable, for sure it will be a very big chance to do a great business. Yeah, so I think it's very interesting. And at that time, I met with my friends, which were just diplomated from a doctorate, PhD in France, and who was also very good at all the computer science and robotic technologies. And I talked with him. He saw the video of Kiva. He thought it's with his background, it's quite doable. He can do that. And for my side, I think market side, I can sell it, and I know investors who are interested in it. So we have all the core, how to say, success keys in our hands. So
I see.
So very quickly we decided to do this. And
how much time? How much time between the idea and doing it? How much time did it take?
1 month, very quickly.
1 month.
Right.
So 1 month you called your friend. You said, "Do you think it's possible to do it?" He looked into it, and 1 month after, you said, "Okay, I'm going to quit. I'm quitting.
Right.
I'm starting it." Wow.
Right. Because you have to be fast. A good idea could be seen by many people, and if it's a good thing, many people will think it's a good thing, and we will have to be fast and fast to decide, fast to make decision, fast to develop, to do the R&D, fast to sell it. Everything should be fast. So we decided to do that in August of 2015, and we registered our first company in Shenzhen in September, and we started to recruit some employees in Shenzhen and do the first demo, do the first prototype.
2015, right?
Yeah, and in the middle of 2016, we participated in a robot exhibition in Guangzhou. It was our first time to show our demo products to the market. And in the end of 2016, we did our first real test for our first customer, and it was a great. It was a big success. So our customer recognized our products and our technology, and he gave us our first order, which was luckily a very big order, 100 robots. So we produced 100 robots in the Q1 of 2017, And in June 2017, the system was running quite well, and the customer decided to buy another 30 robots in the same warehouse, in the same project. So our first project is 130 AGVs in one warehouse, which was the biggest one in China at that time, and it is still the biggest one today. It was also thanks to this project, JD decided to invest in us, because in our small industry, the warehousing robot industry, there is not only us. You have a dozen of competitors, and JD.com, as they are the biggest customer in this field, they had the chance to investigate all the robot companies in this industry. And finally, they thought we were number one in technology side.
Okay. About the team, actually, I have a lot of questions about the team. I'm seeing 4 co-founders, right?
Right.
4 of you. And how did you met each other? And what was the function of each person? I had the feeling that it was a bit like the Chinese student in France connection, because you partner with.
It's a very interesting story. So we have 3 boys and a girl. So 4 founders. The 3 boys, including me, we are high school friends.
Wow.
So we did the same high school, which is the #1 high school in Shanghai. And after the high school, our main founder, the biggest shareholder, Mr. Liu, Dr. Liu, he was sent by Chinese government to France to make engineer Grande École, Polytechnique Paris.
So one of the best, the best actually engineer school in France, for those who are not French.
Yeah, he did 2 years préparatoire. After that, he enrolled in Polytechnique, and he got his second master in Imperial College in UK. Right, this is our main founder, Dr. Liu, and me and another co-founder, Mr. Wang. We, after the high school, both of us enrolled in Fudan University, which is also one of the best universities in China. So Wang, his major in Fudan was mathematics, and after 4 years bachelor, he was also sent by Fudan to Polytechnique Paris.
Okay.
Also for the maths. So this is the history of Wang, and for me, I enrolled in the management school of Fudan, and in the grade 3, I was also exchanged to France, which is in France, in a business school in France. And after this, I enrolled in ASEC Business School for the master in corporate finance. And after the master, I came back to China to join Cathay Capital. Yeah, and the lady, he was our friend in Fudan. He was studying in the economic department of Fudan. So the same year.
Okay.
So and
but she stayed in China.
Yeah, but she also got a master's degree in economics in UK. After her studies, she was working in her family business.
Okay, so basically you have 2 co-founders who are very tech oriented,
right,
and 2 co-founders who are more commercial oriented, marketing oriented.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And fundraising as well, because you mentioned that you are in business, but one of the core competencies you brought is about fundraising.
Right. Because when I was working in Cathay Capital, I had a very good exposure to all the VCs and investment companies, something like that. And I knew also JD.com and their investment arm. So yes, that's why we had access to JD.com quite.
Okay. The product you have started is requiring, certainly you have some co-founders who know about the product, but that's requiring some R&D. that's requiring some initial investment. At the very, very beginning, how did you finance? And could you share a little bit of
Yeah,
range of money you had to put into it and how you finance it, just to give an idea at the beginning? How can it work?
yeah. I can say in the first 5 quarters, we used our own money,
Okay.
which was about less less than 10 million RMB. That's five or
Okay,
six.
that's a sizable amount of money from savings. 10 million
Yeah.
RMB.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you do during those 1 year and 3 months? Because you are not working on the R&D. So you
Yeah.
were raising money at the same time. You were already meeting with factories. What was your, how did you spend your time?
Yeah, we've done a lot of things. We created the first, the very beginning R&D team, which was 10 people, around 10 people. We designed our first prototypes. We designed our first softwares and algorithm. We rent a small at a small factory, which was 600 square meters in the suburb of Shanghai, which was very cheap. I can say it's not a good place. It's very like garage or something like that. And we started to see some potential customers. Luckily, we met with a guy who was the owner of one of the biggest Taobao shops. He has also his own warehouses, and at that time he was looking for this kind of automatic solutions because he was building his new warehouse in the south of China in Guangdong province, and in his current warehouse in Shanghai, he managed 500 workers, which was very sophisticated for him to manage so many people. So for his new warehouse in Guangdong, he didn't want to have same amount of people he want to use. That's why he was looking for the automatic solutions. And at that time, we met with him and we showed him our demo, and he was very interested. So he decided to do a test with us at the beginning.
Okay.
So he gave us a small place of 1,000 square meters in Shanghai, and we provided our robots. For sure, it was free. It was for free. But it's very good for us to have this kind of opportunity to run our system in the real world. And this guy, he was also very supportive and helpful to us. And but for us, it's quite precious opportunity because we really need a real warehouse to test our products. Because before that, it was only a demo. We never try to test our system or our robot with the real orders, with the real e-commerce orders, the real inventories, the real goods. It was we never had that. So this guy, he gave us this opportunity, and during this test we found a lot of new products, new bugs that we never found we never met with, and we handled a lot of problems. And also we showed him that this system, this solution work. So that's why after this test, he decided to purchase our solution in his new warehouse in Guangdong.
I see. Do you need to change a factory to use your robots? Do you need to put some sensors on the floor and so on, or you can use any factory?
We just need to put some QR codes, which was a small plastic
on the floor.
On the floor, right?
Okay.
That's all. What we yeah, it's very easy to implement.
I see. I see. How was it to work with actually the factories which produce the product? Was it easy to find the right factories? Was it easy to manage them? Have you been afraid of IP protection and so on being copied? Could you tell us more about all those issues and challenges to work with factories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for a robot, we design everything first. So for many like something like motors or something like that, so we co-design the devices with our supplier, and we have different supplier for different accessory for different parts. So in total, we have close to 100 suppliers for
100 suppliers.
for different parts of the robots, and I can say no one is very critical. So we have always at least two different credible suppliers for one part.
Wait, you are saying that you are not sure the quality and you are not totally sure that the people you can rely on them. So you have always two in case that you can rely on one of them. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a lot of management.
Yes, the supply chain management is very critical for us, but we have established a very reliable system today. But yeah, we have done a lot of work on it. It was not difficult. It was not easy, and IP is also a key for us. So we never let any supplier to know the whole picture of the products for sure. So each supplier does his own work, and we will handle the whole picture in our team. And we do the assembling by ourselves. So that's why we have a small factory in the suburb of Shanghai. We have a team of 20 workers today to do the assembling and the test.
Very interesting how to manage IP protection through operations, actually. Okay. What are you going, because you raise money, so let's talk about this. What are you going to use it for? You said Southeast Asia, maybe Europe, West. Is it for new products?
Yeah, for sure. We are going to do a lot of things. So first, we are, as you know, before the round A, we had around 35 people in the company, and now we have more than doubled. So we recruited a lot of new people. For sure, we are growing our R&D team because we are developing new products and new solutions. This is very important. And another important thing is that before the round A, we didn't have our marketing team. We didn't have our sales team. And the after sales team was very weak. So after this money, we are establishing these departments in the company. And as you said, we are looking at the overseas markets. So in Europe, in Southeast Asia, we have already some potential customers to talk with. So I think the first project will be done in Southeast Asia in this year, and
Which country? You can't say.
Indonesia.
Indonesia. Okay.
Right. Okay. And we have potential customers in Taiwan, in Hong Kong, in Thailand as well, in Japan too. And we are opening our office in Paris, thanks to our French background. But we think it's worthy of doing this in France, because in France we have very good R&D human resources. We have a very huge market in Europe.
Okay. Talking about differences between West and China, it's very interesting at the very beginning. You said that we have a plan which is called in China 2025,
Yeah.
which, okay, I know about it because I'm living in China, but some people who are listening to us and watching us may not know about it. And that's something which is, I feel, very strong in China. Entrepreneurs, private entrepreneurs, are following what's going on in the plan, how following and hear very carefully what's going on with the plan, policies, and so on. That's very, very different from American entrepreneurs. How do you leverage that? Do you get money from the government? Do you get facilities? Do you get, I don't know, fewer taxes to pay? What do you get?
Yeah. Actually, we have to handle the governmental issues here in China. If we created our own business, everything is linked with governments here. So we have to know what the government wants to do and what's their emphasis. And if you do something which is encouraged by the government, for sure, in the policy side, we have many subsidies from the government.
Do you have some specific numbers about, I mean, how subsidized you can raise from the government, or tax numbers? Because from corporate tax is 25% in China,
Yeah.
VAT is 17% for products. Do you have different numbers for your company, for if you are subsidized and sponsored by the government? How does it work?
Subsidies, you have a lot of subsidies. The government will they have many special foundations to encourage different projects, different directions. Like if they have, for example, in Shanghai, you have a foundation who is encouraging industrial automation. You have a foundation who is encouraging the software, the industrial software. You have a foundation who is encouraging robots. You have many just kind of foundations, and you can apply for them. And for us,
It's money.
It's money.
They give you money, right? Okay.
They give us money, like 200,000 to 200,000, 1 million. It depends.
Do you have to pay back?
No.
How does it work?
No.
Okay.
You have to apply for these foundations with your business plan, with your investment plan, and we will do the audits after 1 year or after 2 years to see if you realize your targets at the beginning. If you really invested so much money, as you said in the business plan.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you very much, Shuyang. It's already like nearly close to 50 minutes. I know that you have other things to do afterwards. Last question, actually, before we end. Are you afraid about robots? Are you afraid in a world where you have robots everywhere and human beings are just useless? What do you think about this?
Yeah, it's a quite open question. And for us, what we do is not AI. We are still, our solution is still automatic solution. Our system has very weak intelligence, I can say. It's we have our algorithm to schedule the system, to arrange the robots, but it's still a programming thing. It's not so intelligent. It's not so strong. It's not a strong AI. It's quite a weak AI. Personally, yes, I'm a little bit afraid of strong AI things. And yeah, it's I cannot imagine.
It's an interesting topic, especially for all the entrepreneurs who are working in the field. I think that there's a lot to see still. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time, Shuyang. I hope you enjoyed. How did you feel about the interview?
Yeah, it's very inspiring. Your questions are quite good, and it also make me think about a lot of things.
Okay, good. Okay. Thank you very much, and hope you enjoyed, and so hope everyone who listened to us enjoyed as well. Talk soon. Thanks, Shuyang.
Bye.
Bye.